isn't easy surviving on Wawanakwa Island. Between the deadly challenges, the gross camp food, and the drama, there's a lot to deal with. And we're sure that all the Season 1 campers would be happy to have a Pokémon or two to help them. But which Pokémon fits these characters best? Hey guys, I'm Brad with Wicked Binge, and this is What Pokémon Would the Total Drama Island Campers Use? There are a lot of characters, so unfortunately we can only talk about one Pokémon per camper. However, if you'd like us to do a video discussing the full teams that these Total Drama contestants would have, let us know in the comments. We're gonna go in reverse order of elimination, which means we're gonna be starting with the Season 1 winner, Owen. Naturally, he won a Pokémon who he can not only chill with, but also match his massive appetite.
Looking good, you guys.
We'd also want him to have a Pokémon that could be representative of his positive attitude and goofball personality. So, we decided to go with Dragonite. While it may not eat the most out of any Pokémon, it's big and extremely kind-hearted, being a Pokémon that leads lost ships in a storm to safety. In the anime, Dragonite gives hugs, and we think that really suits Owen. Next, we have Gwen. Probably one of the most famous animated goth girls of the early 2000s, Gwen has both a lot of fans and a lot of haters. When it came to her Pokémon, we felt that Umbreon was a good fit. Beyond their matching aesthetics, Umbreon has a similar personality to Gwen.
I can hang here all day.
In that it can be loyal towards its friends and is not afraid to fight back and get its paws dirty if necessary, such as when it sprays poisonous sweat from its pores when agitated. Now we have Heather. Heather was pretty easy to figure out. As a lizard Pokémon, Salazzle was an obvious choice. Salazzle are known for forcing male Salandit to serve them and bring them food after attracting them, with those that are unable to follow these orders being punished with flaming slaps. This attitude fits Season 1 Heather, given that she used Lindsay and Beth to bring her snacks and help her while on the island.
But you might want to check on DJ. He ran out of here like he saw a ghost.
Salazzle is also a manipulator, and even if Heather doesn't use the same tactics, it still fits. Now we have Duncan's Pokémon. For him, we feel that Pangoro would be incredibly fitting. First, Duncan and Pangoro are defined as delinquents and are often seen as tough and someone you don't want to mess with. However, Duncan and Pangoro also have their softer sides. Pangoro has even been known to take care of smaller Pokémon, which seems fitting for Duncan, who was protective of various animals during the All-Star season.
If I were you, dude, I'd protect my coconut.
Moving on to Lashana. She's loud and proud, kind, and not afraid to be sassy or give someone a verbal beatdown.
Let's see what you got.
Given that she's one of the strongest competitors in the first couple of seasons, you don't want to get on her bad side, especially since she's not afraid to call others out. For these reasons, we think Loudred, the big voice Pokémon, would be a good fit, as it's also incredibly strong and incredibly loud. Next, we have one of the chillest bros around, Jeff. We all know Jeff as a partier with a heart of gold, for the most part. He's one of the nicest players, making it nearly impossible for others to not be at least decently friendly towards him.
That'll be totally perfecto.
So we feel like his perfect Poké match is Flamigo. It does have the word amigo in it. The fact that they also share a color, that being pink, also helps. It may be a simple reason, but Jeff is a simple guy. Now we have Izzy. Sticking with the Gen 9 Pokémon, we actually feel like Tinkaton would be an incredibly fitting match. After all, Tinkaton are known for being brash and for having a reckless personality, often catching people off guard with just how daring they can be. Also, come on, you could totally see Izzy doing something as crazy as trying to knock Corviknights out of the sky with rocks and a giant hammer. Tinkaton being impish also works for Izzy, who's known for being a prankster.
This is gonna be big.
Next is Lindsay. There are plenty of Pokémon out there that could qualify as beautiful, so you probably expect us to go with something like a Blossom or a Lopunny for Lindsay. But while those would be fitting in their own right, we felt that a better pick for her would be Altaria. This is due to the fact that beyond just her looks, Lindsay's defining character trait is just how much of an airhead she can be, always having her head up in the clouds, as it were.
There is no way I'm eating that!
So why not give her a Pokémon that is not only really cute and pretty, but is also cloud-like? Also, the Pokédex states that while it's normally kind, Altaria can attack foes with shrill cries without mercy if provoked, which totally reminds us of Lindsay's famous rant towards Heather in Season 1. After Lindsay, it is DJ. Going more outside the box, we feel like he'd get along best with an Ursuluna. Originally found in the ancient Hossain region, it is known as a ride Pokémon that assists humans with its strength and with its nose, which can help riders find hidden items and even missing people. In that sense, we feel Ursuluna would mesh well with DJ personality-wise. They're both chill, and they're helpful, as we've seen how DJ's strong enough to push an entire canoe filled with campers back to shore.
We're not leaving any man behind. Not on my watch.
He'd appreciate Ursuluna's nose, which could help him find ingredients for his cooking. Next is Bridget. This is also really easy. Naturally, a surfing Pokemon like Alolan Raichu would be Bridget's perfect match. It should also be noted that Alolan Raichu is much more relaxed than its sometimes aggressive Cantonian counterpart, which would go well with Bridget's tendency to be friendly and peaceful while not trying to start drama. Harold's team is up next. Keeping things simple, we're gonna give him Gen 8's Orbeetle, which, if you don't know, is based off of aliens and UFOs. It's intelligent and mysterious in a way, and we feel like a bug-liking sci-fi fan like Harold would love having a Pokemon like this.
Definitely.
With his partner symbolizing how crafty Harold can be. Now we have Courtney. The best Pokemon for this so-called CIT is the Meowth evolution, Persian. Although popular for its elegance, Persian is difficult to raise as a pet due to its fickle and temperamental personality, a personality that is very similar to Courtney's when she's at her worst. Persian would likely know the move Payday, which would be very appealing to Courtney.
Yo, drama queen, relax.
Given how when she plays, she often puts the prize money above all else. Next is Trent. During Season 1, Trent's most noteworthy quality besides his musical talent is his tendency to be a fairly easygoing and relaxed presence.
If you're lying, I could easily rearrange your face.
It was one of the things that first attracted Gwen to him after all, when she realized how comfortable she was around him. As such, we feel like a Jigglypuff would suit Trent well, which is infamous for making others relax and sleepy with its song. Now we have Justin. For his pick, we have Dartrix. Simply put, Dartrix is narcissistic by nature, spending a lot of time grooming its feathers to maintain its appearance, to the point where it loses focus when its plumage is ruffled or dirty. We're sure Justin, who lost all of his confidence when he no longer felt handsome, would be able to relate to this bird brain and would probably be happy to offer it some styling tips. Now we have Eva. She's known for her temper and violent bursts of rage, to the point of essentially sabotaging herself twice in Season 1.
Maybe I overreacted a little.
So what better match for her than Primeape, who has such an explosive temper that it even puts him at risk of dying. They would have a great time sparring and getting their anger out together. Now we have Beth. Since she's the wannabe archetype, being a follower before eventually finding her confidence and getting into the final 2 of Season 2, we feel like she'd do well with another wannabe, Mimikyu. After all, the only reason why Mimikyu wears its famous yellow outfit is because it wants to be more like Pikachu. Thankfully, we feel like Beth would be the perfect type of trainer to bring Mimikyu out of its shell and give it the confidence to be a true fighter. Moving down the list, we have Cody. He can be puppy-like. His various crushes and attempts with flirting, his loyalty, and even his whole look, we felt like Rockruff was completely fitting. Loyal, adorable, and a couple hidden strengths, Rockruff just screams Cody.
Yeah, nice going.
It's hard to say if the cynical Noah would even care about Pokemon, but if we had to give him a partner, we'd have to go with Raboot. Much like Noah, Raboot is often very aloof and isn't really the most social Pokemon. They even make similar facial expressions. Every once in a while, like when trying to uncover Alejandro's plot or during the Redonkulus race, Noah can be fiery.
That I don't want to mess up your mojo.
And he'd be able to match Raboot's energy. Alright, real quick before we get to our next entries, if you're a fan of Pokemon, make sure to check out our channel Pokebinge. We make regular videos in our usual Spectrum formats, all about the Pokemon video games, lore, anime, and trading card game, and we'd love for you to check it out. Link below. Thanks a lot. For the not very athletic Tyler, his best match would be a Dodrio. Not to pick on Tyler, but it's safe to say that the guy isn't much of an athlete, often tripping over his own feet and failing to do anything too impressive.
Quit being such a girl! You have to do this!
Dodrio, meanwhile, is known for its speed and athletic abilities. And while they might not be on the same physical level, we think that Tyler would admire Dodrio's abilities and would have a blast training it. With Katie and Sadie, you gotta go with a pair of Pokemon that love being together just as much as they do. As such, giving them plus on Minden is pretty much a no-brainer. Besides their duo-focused nature, the Pika clones are able to create electric pom-poms to cheer on their team, since they can't really fight. This fits well with Katie and Sadie, who tend to be more like annoying cheerleaders than strong team players.
I have to live with Sadie, or I'll die.
And finally, we have Ezekiel. Unsurprisingly, we had to give him a Pokemon that many people consider to be as slow as him, Slowpoke. It's slow, dim, goofy, and many only remember it for the awesome evolutions that it can turn into. Much like how Ezekiel's best-known attribute is his descent into becoming a golem-esque creature during World Tour. Hopefully having a buddy can help bring back Ezekiel's humanity. Alright guys, that's it. Let us know in the comments if you agree with our selections, and if you'd like to see more Pokemon team videos, let us know. Remember to hit that notification bell and watch all our other videos. But most importantly, stay wicked.